What's up, everybody? It is the Oracle of Elohim. I'm feeling chatty, but Holy Spirit, please take control over the tongue, um, because we don't want to overspeak or underspeak. So please take control over the tongue. How y'all doing on this sun setting of June 8th, 2025 at 7:18 p.m. I just got done eating some corn chips that the Spirit says I need to leave those alone. I like corn chips, but I guess they don't like me. Or they're not good for me, maybe because of the chemicals in it. But yeah, I ate some corn chips, so I guess that was the last bag, so I better relish that taste. So anyway, people, I was just, as I was eating those chips, I was thinking about my younger adult life while trying to raise my children. All three were here. I was reflecting on that, and how when I had certain jobs, right, like a cashier for several grocery stores that are known in the location in which I was going to say born, but in which I lived as a youngster, okay? So anyway, as I'm working and doing my job, not doing anything to get fired. I mean, I was going to say it's kind of hard to get fired as a cashier, but no, it's not. That is if you're, doing something malicious, like, use your imagination. But anyway, how, because then I had three small children. They were going to the daycare, and as I'm working these different jobs, right, I started thinking about how they started crumbling, how things started going awry. And then I think about what I have learned now about the family, particularly the mother figure, who was probably bad mouthing me to my employer, unbeknownst to me. Isn't that a shame, folks? Talk about a loveless family dynamic, but yet I am the most loving person. However, I am also a person that when or if you have done something to me, I can and will cut off. Like, I'll be loving and kind, blah, 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 blah. And then if you do something with me, I will be like, well, dang. Okay. I might give you another opportunity to straighten it up. Now, just maybe one. But before, I will give people opportunity. And that's probably due to the upbringing, right? But I think about my jobs that I had that were not difficult. It didn't require a bachelor's degree to do, and I perfected a craft in doing it, and it was like flowing. And knowing what I know now, Sandra Marie Cruz Brown, I'm going to say your whole government name because you were quite awful, so people can, know who you are. If you were calling around to my jobs while I had 3 small children trying to make my life a living hell and make me go back to being dependent on welfare and government assistance, and even when I wanted to go to school for medical terminology, and I told this goofball family, then all of a sudden I'm taking the classes, and then some of the instructors, as I remember it, they were acting very diabolical too with my homework, being very overcritical. And so I got and no, I'm not gonna cry because Sandra Marie Cruz Brown, get out my energy. You need to cry. You need to think about what you did. Now, what I was gonna say about that, as I was going to school, I became what is the word that I'm looking for before she got in my energy and wanted me to cry about something that I knew that I was doing the right thing, trying to better myself, better improve myself by going to school, and then here she go with spell work to get me off keister like she's trying to do now. I can't think of that word. Not complacent. I'm going to say turned off, but that's not the word that I'm looking for. But I just let it go. Like it was nothing. I just let it go. And I should have fought, meaning I should have addressed the teachers. But then there was other foolishness going on in my spirit that was being energetically sent by this mother figure, because she wanted to take my future. She wanted to become me, which she did become me because I didn't know who I was, because she took me or had me as an infant where she already was programming me. And statistically, psychiatrists say by the age of 3, or in the age of 3 and 4, you're learning, you're grasping, you're like a sponge. So if this diabolical witch was steady feeding me foolishness and to be neglectful to self, and then she knew my triggers because she was the one that had me as an infant, right? So she knows what I don't like, what can trigger me. And so if she's calling around to my different employers, causing me to go from job to job, so when she go into the courtroom and lie about my stability or my frame of mind or my capability to keep a job, then it would look like I can't keep it because you have infiltrated or energetically told these people or programmed these people to treat me in a manner where it was opposing, and it was like a hostile environment where I'm like, forget this. Okay, I'll just go get the welfare. It's cheaper. I don't have to argue with anyone. I don't have to, be in conflict with anyone. But I just don't like that monthly bull crap like I'm living off now. Because somebody with power or this witchcraft that's going on is preventing me from moving forward. Like, if this diabolical mother figure, which I forgive you, but you have not asked me for it, but I forgive you because, see, I'm ready to move on from all of you. I'm trying to understand why my information has not arrived to me yet. Especially if I'm being investigated, like so many of you, or more than one, have lied on me in court or what have you, saying I'm this, I'm that, but yet being followed and trailed. And have y'all asked the people that y'all sent to follow me, well, what is she doing? Have you seen anything that will substantiate our lying to the court system so we can entrap her in our illusions of lies that we want her to become this and not what I truly am? Thank you, Most High. Whew. It was a doozy. But like I said, I guess complacent. I became complacent. I lost the drive back then. And even maybe for a minute there, they were doing spells and I had, lost the drive. But I always subconsciously have the drive to, there's something out here that I want more. And I remember a young lady that I met. How did I meet her? Where did I meet her at? At any rate, she worked at Devereaux. But I never worked at Devereaux. But she also had purchased a house close to where Sandra lives. And I seen her one time at a laundromat with her son. And her name was Monique. Oh, wow. This is interesting. The Spirit is speaking. She was, maybe about my complexion now, but just a little bit darker. And she wore her hair like in a bob, like the old Left Eye Lisa, except it was shoulder length. Interesting. I don't know how she knew me, or when I was working as a cashier, I do remember seeing her come through, and she would be friendly. But was she really being friendly, or was she really trying to get something from me, like energy? Because Sandra sent her somehow. But at any rate, the last time I seen her, we were at the laundromat, and she kept saying to me, I just gotta go. I'm gonna be selling my house. Something out here much bigger You know what I mean? It's something out here in the world that's bigger and that I want to see. It's just something in the world that is bigger. She kept saying something, I can't remember verbatim, but she was just saying, it's something out here in the world that's much bigger, and this is not it. Or maybe she was trying to tell me something. Maybe she knew something that I didn't know. I don't know. But I do remember her saying that over and over as we're conversating. I don't know. But anyway, the darndest things happen. People say things that may trigger something in you. And as a matter of fact, when I seen her, I had perhaps, I don't know, maybe it was shortly after the split of my husband. Maybe it was in 2010 I seen her, and that I was then living with that diabolical brother of mine. Yeah, that I didn't know, that hated me but wants to be me because he also wants what I have. And then the last conversation where I was sitting in Sandra's house. Now, who figure? Now, when I was, you know, in need of a place to stay, just short span, or just to get away for a little bit, thinking that, okay, I'll come stay with two folks that's into the church that can maybe teach me some things. Do you know, I was never invited after I left Sandra's house at 17. Well, really 16, I left. I ran away. I just had to get away from that house, from them. But I think I came back for a short span, I think. And then I got pregnant at 17. I had the baby at 18. So anyway, but definitely at the age of 18, I was out of her house. And I think there was one other time, if not twice, but I do remember one time, I asked, can I come stay for a little bit at the house? And she told me, no, Walter and I don't let any of the children come back in because we're not doing that. We don't have an open door policy like that. So I overstood that. However, I didn't want to stay for a long duration. And it was expressed to her in that manner. Now, mind you, this sister of mine that stayed on before they moved to Texas, they lived in Patrick Air Force Base. That could have been maybe 45 miles away from her mother's home. If her and her husband were having an issue, the door was always open for her. So that also further tells me, Sandra, that everything that I have said about you, and stop messing with my crown chakra, return to sender. You are a witch. You are a failure as a mother, at least to me. Well, I would say to all three of us, because you taught them how to be sinister like you. And, you know, but that's probably a good thing that you said no, because if you hated me that much, and the Most High had you do that, because, I mean, if you wanted me gone, what better way to do it than to invite me to the house and then I eat your food that you like to cook in your conjuring pot. Right? But see, the Most High was with me the whole time, because even your demonic self didn't think of that. You probably would have succeeded, and the Most High knew that, and so He made you say no. So for that, I'm grateful. For that, I'm very much grateful, because He knew you were an imminent threat to me, as you still are today. You need to go somewhere, and the things you said about my mind, there's nothing wrong with my mind. It's something wrong with yours, where you hate an infant, a toddler, a child, a teen, a young adult, one who's now an adult, and you still hate, one who is also a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, and you still hate. And then on top of that, you came around me and my children and my home to shoot curses at me, and then to touch and be putting curses on my children unbeknownst to me. And then that brother of mine to do the same thing. But to God be the glory, right? Because everything under the sun, the sky, the moon, it shall be illuminated by the light that it gives, that it transmits. And today, I tell you, today, I mean, let's see, my life with you all has been drama, horror, horrific, testy, and it's so much drama, I can't even remember any laughter, not really, unless you have put a movie in front of me. And I'm being honest, I can't really remember anything joyous about the life with y'all. It was everything I had to be cautious, and I guess the Most High had put that on me to be watchful instead of playful, because He knew that you all were demons. And yet still, my heart knows love when you all didn't show me love. So you would think a person who wasn't shown love, who was shown hate, who was spoken to, I'm sure, in a manner that would trigger or offset them, where they would grow up to be a menace to society. And I guess the Most High have blown your mind over and over again, because I'm not you, and you most definitely aren't me. Sandra Marie Cruz Brown, you need to stop red rumming people. You all devised something with all of my children. My younger son, he did have epilepsy for a short span, so I'm assuming that was due to spell work, because as he grew up, that went away. But because some of his epilepsy was so strong, I do believe that did affect his way of thinking, which made him more vulnerable and susceptible to your mind manipulation to work against me and to think that I was working against him, especially when you made him, well, I'm going to say when y'all spell work made him homeless, because I do remember he also was working, but then when he called me, y'all, spirit is speaking, when I would call him to check up on him and how he's doing, and he tells me, oh, everything's going good, I'm working for Waste Management, and me and the family dynamic he was in, everything's good. The next thing I know, shortly after, his household is in array. He lost his job. And then from that dynamic, him and the girl, because I think the crib was hers, and she threw him out, and then from that dynamic, he became homeless. And then he did smoke marijuana, and I think he was using other things, but I mean, I hear different views. Some people, for a span, they vibe high with marijuana. But if you already have had epilepsy that may have done something to the chemistry and the dynamic of how your brain functions, and then on top of that you're using illicit drugs that you don't know what else they're putting into it, that would definitely lower your vibration, lower the way you think, and so it was very easy to manipulate him. And then if they were tracking me, then I'm sure they were tracking my children, because my children are, I want to say my life, or a part of my life, so I kept a good rapport or communication with them, because I wanted to know what was going on in their life and how could I help. Not be a hindrance, but how can I help? And this mother figure knew that. And so as I'm calling, seeing what's going on with them, and they're telling me, but yet I'm being stopped, not knowing that they're listening to my personable phone calls with my family dynamic, and how I show love to my children and my grands and my great grands. Oh no, that was too much. So we got to cause a disturbance. And then I saw the defiance in my daughter, and then my middle child, the one that, ended up missing, or not, because I'm still stuck on, if you people are into life insurance fraud, and the police department did not want to do a thorough investigation, and then you were stalking me and causing me issues, then I know that there's something more to the disappearance or the unaliving of my middle child, or him, just missing, period. I know it has everything to do with you all, because I also remember a conversation that I had with him. I said, son, you need to watch out who you're hanging around with, because I get this vibe that that person is not so good. I actually said, well, let me try to find, someone who's already in the business, help you out, instead of trying to go through the streets. Although I didn't know anything about entertainment, but I just knew that some of the people that he was hanging around with, I wasn't feeling their vibe. So what better than these crooks in my family to do, who's listening to my conversation? Again, me trying to instruct and teach my child what not to do, but yet there they go with their spell work and their affluence in the background behind my back, speaking to my child. Okay, and that middle child, yes, he had like a nystagmatism in the eyes, where his eyes sometimes would move back and forth, but I think that was also spell work too, because he grew out of that. When he was a baby, he was almost like, he was almost going to be an albino, because he was so light skinned. His father is darker than me, but he wasn't a dark complected guy, but this child came out lighter than me, and his eyes were gray as a baby, right? But anyway, he, in my ignorance, in my single parentness, and the mind manipulation of the family in the background coming up against me, I allowed my middle child to go into, I think it was Indian River Treatment Center, for behaviors for a couple of days, because he kept doing things that was like getting him in trouble. And then something he did, I can't remember what it was. Oh, I know. He was at school, and I think a teacher said that he hit her, or he threw something at her, which required him to be arrested and be put in juvenile detention. And I'm not sure if he was in the 3rd or 4th grade when this happened. And again, my ignorance with the school's policies and my parental rights, I was unaware of. And I do give props to Dr. Umar Johnson for waking up the communities of mothers and fathers about different things that are going on in the schools. However, I'm not sure if there's something going on with him, but I do appreciate the important details of what a school cannot do to you as a parent or your child, right? But I wasn't aware of this then. So I also, this particular child, he also was placed on Adderall, and me in my ignorance, I did allow the doctors to place him on Adderall. And now, as we know, there's commercials about that Adderall, right? However, I did wake up at some point. I don't think he took that for a good year. I do not believe, because I myself, I'm not a big fan of just being on medicine, Mm-mm. So I did stop it, and thank God he did grow out of it. And then when he started focusing on his, he wanted to become a rapper or entertainer, right? That somehow sparked him to his behaviors change for the better, because he found something that he had a good niche with. And well, it's sad to say I didn't hear his music while he was with me, but I did hear his music after this event took place, where I no longer saw or really know what has happened to my middle child, right? But again, this whole family is stalking, watching, probably cloning my children's phones, seeing how they live, so that way when they come in like a thief in the night, they know how to come at them, because they have watched and learned their behavior. And that's why stalkers like to watch and study you to see if you have a weakness. So, I say to that drug addict, be careful. Because how many of us know drug addicts, prostitutes, they are not all of them, they are not stupid people. They are sometimes pretty smart. Thieves are not stupid people. They just do stupid things when they could have used their talents, like this brother that I live with. He's not stupid when it comes to books, but he is ignorant when it comes to common sense, and crime does not pay. And him who like to all day study on how to perfect his craft of getting to know you, everything about you, figuring out how he can manipulate you, and then going in for the kill to manipulate you. But yet doing it in a nice, nasty manner, because you never suspected, because he's so he's a psychopath, and you don't really see that they are a devil until you see it. Like when he started acting in a manner that was where you cannot deny, oh, you're acting very cold, very vile towards me. There was no denying that. And then he would turn it off and be nice and say, Jen, come here and do this for me. And then when we were having a problem with the landlord where we were living, unbeknownst to me, that was all a illusion too, because the landlord was in on their plan. But there's a lot of emails, text messages from my old phones. If there is a PI, a FBI, a law enforcement agent, who also should see that too. Now, I think I was emailing someone. If not, I think I was emailing the lawyer office that sent us an eviction notice. I can't remember. But I was emailing someone, and it had to do with both of us. So I was saying I was emailing it off my phone. And so then I say, here, Randy, take a look at it before I send it. And then he looked at it, and then he got angry and he yelled. I mean, it was a real shrilling yelling for somebody who has a heart condition, because yelling is not good if you have a heart condition. It's not good if you don't have a heart condition. So, I mean, when he yelled at me, that pierced me like through my bones. I felt it as if someone stuck a knife in me. So I took my phone back from him. I went in my room, and because that yell was so diabolical, I did cry. Because I was like, wow. It was just that piercing for him to yell at me like I just made this mistake, that the world has come to an end. And then after he watched me in my room, because remember, people, I didn't know this family was my stalkers. There's cameras all through the house. I know they're there because, they know when I'm in each room and something is moving about in the ceiling that I could hear, literally. So as he watched me cry because he upset at me, then when I come back out of the room going into the kitchen, he saw me. When I'm coming back, he was like, oh, this is the psychopath that he is. Oh, Jen, I'm sorry. You are you hungry? I was thinking about, and I'll buy you something. This is how this person is. And remember, I did early retirement to try and help out someone who supposedly was sick. But no, that wasn't the game plan. The game plan was to make my income become a drought, where I will have to depend on him, because he, in the background, had taken conservatorship over an ancestral inheritance and or the auto accidents that they caused by pinpointing or putting a tracker on my car to know when and where it is to cause a accident. They did this twice. One with the lover that they sent, who had a incurable disease. And the other accident was when I left, and it was my grandson and I going to church. And I just happened to be on the phone with that diabolical brother of mine. So that way he can pinpoint my location exactly. So when this fool who comes across another lane and just T-bones me, thank God that when the window shattered in the back seat where my grandson was in a car seat, that glass didn't get in his eye. But this, of course, is all because of greed. So as I had to um, as I was trying to get my life in order from the ex-lover, from the husband or the ex-husband walking away from me, abandoning me. This family was planning and plotting, trying to get me to be depressed. And I guess I did get a little bit depressed, but I wasn't suicidal. And what I mean by that, I did become focused on helping my brother and lost myself. And so I guess I kind of started waking up and telling that brother when he would say something that was a little funky, and I would say something back to him, not in a mean manner, but just, I don't agree with that. No, I don't want. What do they say? Don't tell a narcissist no, because that means I'm going to attack you even more. Yeah, so that's what this person did. And yes, this person, as I'm supposed to be his caregiver, right? Because he was trying to get more money from the VA when he did finally get his money. And again, because of the mind manipulation. But I loved my brother. I loved my family. So to be able to do early retirement to try to help them recover from a sickness, and by him saying, when I get my money, meaning I was thinking of his VA disability, which he did eventually get that, but then he was saying, oh, well, I'm steady fighting Social Security. Social Security, would that be, Randy, would that be my ancestral DNA inheritance that you were fighting, trying to get conservatorship over, as you were trying to frustrate me in the house and recording me when I become upset after you have done something to me? And then you would tell them, see, she's tripping out on me and I'm sick. This was the type of game that this person would play. So again, the whole thing was to give me financial ruin and violence. And I know they're very upset about the little bit of income that I do get, because it is sustaining me through all this foolishness, law enforcement, that I know you clearly see who is the problem. Anyway, Archie Randy Peak Jr. Yes, your whole government name. Now, if I would have known that I had assets, I wouldn't have gave you anything. At least I wouldn't have gave you everything, or to have conservatorship over me, because I don't need conservatorship. Ain't nothing wrong with my mind or me taking care of myself. When I came to live with you in that apartment that you had on the island, you and I were splitting the cost. And then you said to me, well, my funds are running low and I'm not going to be able to pay half anymore. And I said to you, okay, so I'll handle it, and hopefully, your VA will come through. And so everything was being handled, people. Did he lie to me? Possibly. Anyway, yet you with Social Security, you all lied and stole something from me. And you know this. And then you sent in different men. And while I was in my ignorant mode, I did entertain some. But even still, you're recording me in my car, in my home. That is against the law. You are a stalker. And you know, when all this did eventually pop off, where they did this illegal eviction, and then Randy, I think you were on the phone with Sandra. Okay, I'll get the contracts. I'll give them a call. And I believe you said something about Phoebe. Phoebe and Tim, is it? On the internet? Anyway, I digress. I don't know what y'all got to do with this, but if you got anything to do with this that was sinister, oh well, that's your ASS, not mine. So anyway, all these bunch of people trying to do me in is really, I'm telling you. And I think I would say to my brother or my family, oh, I'm going to have me a house with a white fence. Or maybe I was talking to my cousin on the phone. One day I'm going to have me a house with a white picket fence, a lovely family, a good husband. Yeah, they heard all of that. So then you do spell work to ensure that I don't have this. Wow. What a hateful, wicked family. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. Anyway, to God be the glory, because I'm going to have what the Most High says that I can have. And I'm going to have it in divine timing. And you are going to have what you deserve as well. And it's all going to be orchestrated in divine timing. Because you were wrong. You were very hateful and malicious, and you still are today. Especially if you allowed someone to molest me. And yet, I am still a loving person that can and will cut off anything that does not serve my highest good or is contrary to what I need or desire. So, you know, it's just unbelievable how some people chose to participate. You would have already had have to have had corruption already in your heart, or already participated in it, or maybe this family knew, because what they do is watch. So if they were watching a judge, lawyer, or whomever, then they already know about your dirty deeds, so that's why they approach you. And that could be why they, came to you, maybe unbeknownst to you. I don't know. Because that's how people operate. They want to get dirt on you. So that's why God said, make sure you walk upright. And so you all have done everything under the sun trying to paint me as something that I am not. You tried to infect me with an incurable disease, and God said no. You probably even spoke to the doctor when I was taking chemo and radiation to up the dose of chemo to silently take me out. And God didn't let that happen either. He only allowed me to be hospitalized to face you all and the doctor that he had to correct it. So you still are in awe that I'm still here, but yet you don't believe that the Creator, who is greater than the devil that you all serve, is still allowing me to live through all your foolishness. And I believe that is what happened, because still to this day, I have not heard anyone say, well, I ain't gonna say that, but most of the time when somebody have chemo, I do not believe the first treatment starts doing a lot of the things that what that treatment did to me to cause me to be hospitalized. But what I think it was, you, Sandra, you spoke to that doctor, or maybe the one who mixes my chemicals for my treatment, to mix something in it that would ultimately take me out, but it didn't. And yet, still today, you're trying to take me out. Something is wrong with your mental state, not mine. Because I'm still here. I'm in my right mind. I have health after you all have done so many atrocious things, literally and spiritually. And then you other diabolical demons that they have paid to come after me. Something wrong with y'all too. Hopefully you get your mind right before it's too late. Because life is a teacher, and what you put in, you shall get back. Woe unto them who did all kind of dirt unto me and others. Some people you have succeed putting in the ground. Like, where is the woman that I knew as Aunt Lorraine, Sandra? Where is she? What happened to her? She and I were talking, having good conversations. And then, for some reason, the last conversation I had with her, excuse me, I gotta roll up my window. The last conversation I had with her, she said she wasn't feeling well, right? But what I believe is, whatever she was describing to me that was a problem for her, you all capitalized on it because she was showing me love. She was liking our conversation. She was being a true family member to me. And you all didn't like that because, remember, I'm not supposed to be liked. I'm not supposed to have love, because at the end of the day, you want me to hate myself. You want my life to end. You want me in ruin. You want me in shame, guilt, and defeat. But yet, I'm still here, and I love all of me. Even when you tried to change my appearance, even still, you try to do that. Anyway, hopefully the Most High could reach you, but if he doesn't, I ask him to avenge me of you and to get rid of you out of my life. It's time for you to go. I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want you to have any control over my life. I'm a grown woman. And I want you to get out. All of you. Get out of my life. You don't have the right to try to enslave me. Period. And I'm talking to all. You don't have that right. It is against the law. 1866. There was a law made for enslaved individuals. And now, there's a new way to enslave people. Witchcraft. Take your family. Take your stability. Take your finances. Take your hopes and your dreams. And then I will come in. That's what you all say. I will come in and act like I'm your friend till I bring you to an end. Because ultimately, that's what you intend to do when you take all of that from someone. But Yahuwah Elohim, who sees and knows and who is the Almighty, I am protected. I am going to get out of this situation. I am royalty. I am amazing. And every day you all attack me, you further let me know that I am amazing. I am abundant. You know that. I know that. You are a thief. You are a liar. You are a drug addict. You are a prostitute. You are mentally insane. That's what you all are. But you said that was me. Yet, today, and even whenever you said it, like I said, I only indulged with marijuana and I didn't like it. Because if anything can manipulate your mind or have you just manipulate your right mind like a drink, right? Drinks that they call, some stores say, spirits, right? So the spirit of marijuana, the spirit of drinking, I don't like that because it makes me feel some type of way that I am not in control. I am not in my higher self. So I don't like it. So when you all lied and said that's what I do, how foolish of you. Just foolishness. I have a perpetual hate over something or someone who tries to control me. And you all knew that. That's why you had to first work on my crown chakra to make me docile. But thank God that He woke me up in divine timing, divinely orchestrated, divinely guided me away from you. But yet you still want to be here in my energy, stalking me, harassing me, following me. You want me to sit in this car so you can watch me. Watch me watch. That is such foolishness. What have you done with your life besides watch me on your CCTV? Well, I tell you what, if law enforcement will go ahead and do what they're supposed to do, and that is indict you, bring you to court, and find you guilty on everything that you have done, not fabricate everything that you have done, and then put you in imprisonment. And since you don't mind sitting, looking at the same thing over and over, or the same person over and over, then you won't mind that. I don't know how big sales are that you share with other people or another person. Then you won't mind looking at them for however many years you will obtain. So you have trained yourself in that capacity to want to look at something for years, the same thing that is. Okay? So, anyway, may the Most High get the glory out of my life because my life belongs to Him. I am an extension of Him. My temple belongs to Him. So, when you mess with me, you are messing with Elohim. That's what all of you need to know.